Hi, my name is Taylor, and I am here to guide you through a full moon flow for the full moon happening on Monday, October 6, 2025. This is a full moon happening in Aries, but it's also going to be the harvest moon and also a super moon, so a lot going on here. So, there's a little bit of confusion I've seen in the last month or so about what the harvest moon is and when it occurs. Typically, we see harvest moons in September, but technically, a harvest moon is the full moon that happens the closest to the fall equinox. And October's full moon is actually the closest to the fall equinox, which happened late September. So, this is technically the harvest moon. Harvest moon is the brightest moon that we have of the year, and this allows for farmers to be able to work a little bit longer in their fields in like the early evening because they have extra light. So that's where that name comes from. It's also the super moon, which means it's also like it's the brightest. It's going to be the closest to the earth in the year. So it's going to be a pretty crazy sight. It's going to have like a little bit of a red tint. It's going to look very big on the horizon. So make sure that you get out and you look at the moon on Monday. I think it's also supposed to be pretty big on the 5th on Sunday. So because we have a full moon, right? So we have the moon and we have the sun directly across from one another. That's what happens in a full moon. And we have the moon in Aries and we have the sun in Libra. And this is kind of a special little pairing we have here because when we think of Aries, we think of the self. And with Libra, we think of others. So we have this kind of dichotomy going on. And we need to understand the balance between the self and others. And this is what is going to empower us in our relationships. Okay, so this is what this full moon is kind of bringing in for us. We want to make sure that we can bring into balance, and neglecting either the self or others is going to backfire on us. This full moon is also going to ask us to let out some emotional declarations that we have been bottling up for a while, anything that you just haven't really put a voice to or really not paid attention to. This full moon is going to ask you to really think about that and maybe speak it out, maybe put it out into the universe. This full moon is in Aries, and so we are going to be focusing on the head, which is what Aries rules over the head. And we're also going to be working a little bit more with the root and sacral chakra, which Aries is also related to. I like to incorporate Aries into my flows by utilizing folds because folds allow for introspection. You're looking inside, and that is kind of what Aries is, right? So we're looking at the self. So it's going to be more folds and sacral and root chakra centered. We're going to use blocks today in our flow. So if you have blocks, go ahead and grab them. If you don't have them, you can use anything block shaped, anything that is sturdy and can hold weight. I also have a curated Spotify playlist to go along with this flow that you can find in the description below. And you can start that whenever we begin our grounded breath work. So go ahead, grab your blocks, grab a drink of water, light a candle, whatever you need to feel comfortable, and meet me on the mat. So we're going to begin by lying down on our backs. And you can take a corpse pose, or you can find reclined bound angle where the soles of the feet come together and knees splay out to the sides. Or you can take knees knocking in where the feet come to either side of the mat and the knees knock in towards the midline. This gives a lot of extra space in the low back. So whatever that you feel you need to take today. Just a comfortable place for us to begin our breath work. And just begin by closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And just begin to notice your breath, your natural breath. Don't change anything. Just witnessing where you are right now, coming to your practice, coming to your mat. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales, in and out through the nose. Begin to take a full body scan, starting at the top of the head. And as you breathe in and out, just allow your awareness to come down the sides of the face, to the cheeks, through the neck and into the shoulders, down the arms into the fingertips, back up through your shoulders and come back to the torso. Bring your awareness to your hips, to the thighs, down to your knees, and then to the calves, and down to the feet, and making your way all the way to the tips of your toes. And with each breath, take that scan back up to the top of the head and back down to the toes. Just checking in where you are now. How does everything feel? We're going to take 3 deep breaths together. We're going to make them the deepest breaths we've taken all day. So in through the nose, bring the breath all the way down to the low belly. Pause at the top, open the mouth and sigh it out. Again, make it a little bit deeper. Inhale. Pause at the top, open the mouth and sigh it out. Again, in through the nose, last one. Deepest breath you've taken all day. Pause at the top. Open the mouth and let it out. You can keep the eyes closed if you would like. We're going to stay on our backs for a little bit longer. You can open the eyes if you would like to. And we're going to find a reclined pigeon. So we're going to have the feet, the soles of the feet meet the mat, knees pointing to the sky. We're going to take the right ankle and cross it over so that it's resting on the left knee. Right here, make sure that that right knee is pushing out towards the bottom of the mat. We're going to find a bind behind the left leg. And we're going to take the right elbow and push it into the right knee. And just bringing that left leg closer into the body. Breathing here. Closing the eyes, and these poses is going to allow for you to have a little more introspection, and that's what we're searching for here in this full moon in Aries. We're going to lower the left leg back down so that the foot hits the earth. We're going to take our arms out to a T, and we're going to drop the legs over to the left for a twist. Option for the gaze to go over the right shoulder. Breathing here. Gaze comes back to the sky. We're going to bring the legs back to center. We're going to take the right hand and grab the right foot and open it up for a half happy baby. If this is not accessible, you can always use peace fingers around the big toe, or you can grab behind the knee. Whatever is working for you today. Going to release the right foot. Allow the foot to come back to the earth. We're going to hug the knees. Feel any differences between the left and the right. We're going to bring the feet back to the earth. We're going to take the left foot or left ankle to the right knee. Pushing that left knee away from the body. We're going to take a bind behind the right knee. Pushing that left elbow into the left knee and pulling the right leg closer to the chest. Just breathing, checking in where you are. We're going to release the bind and bring the right foot back to the earth. Arms to a T. We're going to drop the legs over to the right. Gaze can go over the left shoulder. Gaze comes back to center. Gonna bring the legs back to center. Left hand is gonna grab left foot and open up for half happy baby. We're going to release the foot, bring it back to the earth. We're going to rock and roll the length of our mats until we come up, roll over the feet, or just come to a tabletop position. Making sure that the wrists are stacked under the shoulders and the knees are stacked underneath the hips. And we're going to take a couple of cat-cows here. So we're going to inhale, drop the navel, lift the gaze. Exhale, round through the back, drop the head as you exhale. Inhale for cow, drop the navel. Exhale, round for cat. Take a couple more just like that to your own breath. Come back to tabletop, neutral spine. We're going to take the right hand up to the sky on an inhale. And exhale, we're going to thread the needle underneath, bringing the head to the mat, bringing the left hand up to the top of the mat, and breathing here. Bring the left hand back underneath the shoulder. Inhale the right arm back up to the sky and back to tabletop. We're going to inhale the left hand up to the sky. Exhale, thread it underneath the right. Bringing the head to the mat. And bringing the right hand up to the top of the mat. You're going to bring the right hand back underneath the shoulder Inhale, push up, bringing the left hand back to the sky. Exhale, bring it back to the mat for tabletop. We are going to bring the right leg out to the side of the mat for gate pose. And we're going to stay here for just a moment, and we're going to find a couple of cat-cows in our gate. So inhale for cow, exhale for cat. We're going to come back to a neutral spine. We're going to walk the hands back up to the body. We're going to inhale the arms up to the sky. Drop the right hand down to the right leg. And we're going to take a side stretch over to the right. Your next exhale, we're going to cartwheel the hands over to the left, coming to a side plank. Option to grab that right foot. We're going to come back up. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale down for prayer. Inhale the arms back up through the sky and down back to our tabletop, bringing that right leg back to the mat. We're going to take a couple rounds of cat-cow here in our tabletop to reset. Coming to a neutral spine. We're going to take the left leg out to the side for our gate. And again, we're going to take a couple of cat-cows here. So inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Couple rounds to your own breath. Find stillness. We're going to walk the hands back to the knees, the body. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Drop the left hand down to the left leg and take a side stretch over to the left. We're going to cartwheel the hands to the right for a side plank. Option for right hand to come, or left hand to bind on the left foot. Drop that left foot back down, come back up. Inhale, arms to the sky. Prayer for exhale. Inhale back up to the sky. Exhale, fold back to your tabletop. Take another couple rounds of cat-cow here in tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes here. And if this is enough, you can stay here. If you would like to deepen this sensation, the more that you walk your hands back and more weight you put in towards the heels, the more you're going to feel this. You can always put a block underneath the knees as well. This allows for more space, not so deep sensation in the toes. We're just going to sit here for a moment, breathing and really feeling alive here. This pose really helps to remind us that we are here. One more breath. Exhale, go ahead and bring the hands back to the mat. Untuck the toes, tap the tops of the feet to the mat. We're going to lower down onto our stomachs. And we're going to bring the hands to line up with the ribs. And we want to make sure that the elbows are not splaying out to the sides, that they're tucked in. So sometimes you want to have your hands tilted outwards to ensure that the elbows are not going to splay out. We're going to have them tucked in. Lined up with the ribs. And we're going to inhale for a cobra. You don't have to push up too far the first time. And exhale, lower back down. Inhale, come up, maybe come up a little bit higher. And exhale, release. We're going to inhale, and we're going to hold just a little bit longer. Exhale, release. We're going to take the right hand out to a T. Left foot, the sole of that foot is going to come to the sky. And we're going to roll over to the right, bringing that left sole to the earth for a nice shoulder compression. And also a nice little twist. Exhale, release, coming back to the stomach. We're going to take the left arm out to a T. Right sole of the foot comes to the sky. Rolling over to the left, the right sole comes to meet the earth. Compressing the left shoulder. Exhale and release. We're going to inhale back up to a tabletop and find our way to a child's pose. So widening the knees about max width distance and lowering down to the earth. Head can always come to a block or a pillow, whatever you may need to make space. going to come back to a tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes and lift the sit bones up and back for our first down dog of our practice. Maybe pedaling out or moving side to side. Just working into that down dog. Eventually finding some stillness. Remember your down dog, you don't have to have straight legs. The heels don't have to be on the earth. You really want to focus on what your spine is doing in down dog. You want to think that like there's a string on your tailbone that is pulling you up towards the sky. And that's how you want to think about how your spine should be. So it really doesn't have anything to do with your legs. Your next exhale, we're going to walk the hands back towards the feet. And just take a moment here in a forward fold. Maybe grabbing opposite elbows for a ragdoll. Forward folds also don't have to be straight-legged. They can have bent knees as well. If you have lower back pain, really try not to straighten those legs. Give a little give in the knees, and that'll make so much room for the low back. We are going to inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. For Tadasana, hands come through heart center. Inhale, arms to the sky. Swan dive down on your exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands back to the top of the mat for your down dog. Take a couple breaths here in your down dog. Your next inhale, look to the top of the mat. And as you exhale, take steps all the way to the top of the mat. Take your time. Take a moment in your forward fold. We're going to take the left hand to the center of our mat. We're going to inhale the right hand up to the sky, giving that left knee a bigger bend in the knee. Exhale, right hand comes down to the mat. Give a little bend in the right knee and inhale the left arm up to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes to the mat. Bend in the left knee. Inhale the right hand to the sky. Exhale, right hand comes to the mat. Right knee bends. Left hand inhales to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes to the mat. One more round like that to your own breath. Meet me in a forward fold. Inhale for halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Hands come through heart center. Inhale, arms to the sky. Swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step it back to down dog. We're going to inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Step it through to the top of the mat. Going to drop the right knee. Untuck the toes. Grab your blocks if you have them nearby. We're going to come into our low lunge. And low lunge, want to make sure that knee's not going past the toes. And I'm gonna move that foot actually a little bit closer to the top of the mat, making room for half splits. And we're gonna move with our breath. Inhale for low lunge, exhale for half splits. So moving with your own breath through low lunge and half splits. I really like these two poses together. When I first was introduced to this, I did not like it. It hurt, it was uncomfortable, but now I can't seem to do a flow without it. And I think it's really interesting with what we're working with Aries and Libra. So with our half splits, we're coming inward, we're looking inside. And when we come into our low lunge, we're looking outward. So like our Libra energy is that low lunge, and Aries energy is that half splits. We're going to find stillness in our half splits. Toes pointing towards the face. We're going to bring the sole of the foot back to the earth. Going to come back to low lunge. We're going to tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. We're going to come up for crescent lunge. We're going to turn to the long right side of the mat for star pose. And we're going to fold for a wide-legged fold here. Maybe move in this wide-legged fold side to side. Maybe you find stillness. We are going to find Skandasana to the back of the mat. So walking the hands towards the back of the mat. Bringing the left toes up to the sky. Hands can stay on the earth or come at heart center. We're going to come back to our wide-legged fold. We're going to plant the left hand to the earth. Inhale the right to the sky. Exhale, right hand plants. Left hand inhales to the sky. Exhale, bring Both hands to the earth. Take another moment in your wide-legged fold, dropping the head, maybe shaking yes and no. We're going to turn to face the top of the mat. Walking the hand to the top of the mat. We're going to come back up for our crescent. And we're going to step the right foot up to the top of the mat and sink down for chair. Now with chair, I like to pick the toes up off of the earth to make sure that I'm not moving forward, that all of my weight is in the sole of the foot. And exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up for Tadasana. Hands through heart center. Inhale all the way up. And swan dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands and step it back for down dog. Body's warming up now. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, knee to nose, step it through. We're going to drop the left knee. Grab your blocks for low lunge. Maybe moving that right foot up a bit in space to make room for half splits. And again, moving with our breath. Inhale for low lunge. Exhale for half splits. And eventually finding stillness in your half splits. Toes pointing towards the face. We're going to bring the sole of the foot back to the earth. Place the blocks to the side. We're going to tuck the left toes, lift the left knee, and come up for crescent lunge. We're going to turn to the left long side of the mat for star. We're going to interlace the hands behind the back. Grow tall through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold with your bind. Release the bind. Skandasana to the back of the mat. So right toes pointed up towards the sky, hands to the mat or to heart center. Foot comes back to mat, going to come back to a wide-legged fold. We're going to plant the left hand, inhale the right arm to the sky. Exhale, right hand meets left ankle, head becomes heavy. Release. Right hand plants, left hand comes up to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes to right ankle. Allow the head to be heavy. Release. Take another moment in your forward fold. We're going to walk the hands back to the top of the mat. And we're going to inhale up for crescent lunge. We're going to bring the left foot up to the top of the mat and sink for chair pose. Chair also doesn't have to be, I know some teachers teach that your feet have to be together, but chair does not have to always be together. You can have them hips width distance apart as well. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, Tadasana. Hands come through heart center. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands. Step it back to down dog. You're going to inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, step it through to the top of the mat. Inhale for crescent lunge. So in crescent, you just want to make sure that the knee is stacked on top of the ankle and that we are on the ball of the back foot. Going to exhale for warrior two. Warrior two, keep that front leg the exact same. Back leg is going to come all the way down. That foot's going to come all the way down to the earth. But we want to make sure that we have a 45-degree angle in that foot to make room for the hips. And arms come out to a T. Warrior two is typically taught with palms facing down. I have an issue with opening my shoulders up, so that's why I always have my palms facing the sky in warrior two. So whatever is best for you, that's what you take. Always, always take what's best for you. We're going to have inhale for peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale for extended side angle. Extended side angle, you want to make sure that you have a strong line going from the tips of your fingers all the way down to the right foot. Exhale for warrior two. Inhale for peaceful. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, extended side angle. Inhale for warrior two. Another round to your own breath. Meet in warrior two. We're going to come back to our crescent lunge. We're going to straighten the left leg. And maybe you need to find your blocks, bring them to that front foot. Maybe you need to shorten your stance. We're setting up for pyramid. So, hands up for setting up for pyramid. Inhale, grow tall through the crown of the head and through the hands. Exhale, we're going to fold over for our pyramid. Want to make sure that we're keeping a long line in that left leg. Pull that right hip back in space. Make sure you're not collapsing. And breathing here. We're going to inhale the left arm up to the sky. For a revolved pyramid. We're going to move our hand or block a little bit closer up to the top of the mat. And we're going to lift off that right foot for a revolved half moon. If you need a chair or a wall, that is fine. Take what you need. If you fall, that's okay. Just smile and get back into it. We're going to bring that right leg back behind the left leg. And we're going to find a fold here. Some days you're a little more wobbly than others. And that's okay. Yoga is here for us every day. No matter where we're at or how we're feeling. Unwind the legs, come back to center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up for Tadasana, hands coming through heart center. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Plant the hands, step it back for down dog. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back. Exhale, step it through to the top of the mat. Inhale up for crescent lunge. Go ahead and take your time getting set up, making sure that that right knee is stacked on top of the ankle and that back foot is on the ball of the foot. You can widen this stance if you need be. Feeling strong through the legs. We're going to open up for our warrior two. So that back heel comes to the earth and at a 45-degree angle. Inhale for peaceful warrior. Exhale for warrior two. Inhale for extended side angle. Exhale, warrior two. 2 rounds like that, just to your own breath. meeting back in warrior two. We're gonna come back to crescent. Back foot comes back to the ball of the foot. We're gonna straighten that right leg, maybe shorten the stance. We're gonna fold into our pyramid, maybe grabbing your blocks if you need them. Pulling that right hip back in space, so keeping that right leg nice and long. Going to inhale the right arm up to the sky for a revolved pyramid. Going to move that left hand up a bit to the top of the mat. We're going to come up off of the left leg, maybe, if we can find the balance for it. This one's a little tricky on this side for me. Maybe if we need a chair, we find the chair or the wall, whatever support you need. We're going to take that left leg behind the right and take a fold here. We're going to uncross the legs. Take a moment in your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up for Tadasana, hands through heart center. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, swan dive back down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Place the hands, step it back for down dog. Take a moment here in your down dog, maybe shaking the head no and yes. We are going to inhale the left leg up and back. Exhale, we're going to bring the shin to the top of the mat, lowering down for our half pigeon. If half pigeon is not in your practice, you may find reclined pigeon, which we did to begin our class earlier on the back. We were on our backs and we brought the ankle to the knee and found the bind behind the knee. So if you're in your half pigeon, take a moment in your upright position. Inhale to grow tall through the crown of the head. And exhale, fold over the left leg, maybe grabbing a block or your head to rest on. Head can also come to hand or the mat, whatever is speaking to you right now. Just go ahead and get comfortable. We're going to be here for a minute or two. We're going to slowly and intentionally come up out of our half pigeon, tucking the right toes and lifting the right knee, and coming into a three-legged down dog, and then into a down dog. We're going to inhale the right leg up and back, and exhale, bringing the right shin to the top of the mat, and setting up for half pigeon on the right side. And taking a moment here in your upright pigeon, growing tall through the crown of the head, and exhale, folding overhead, coming to block, hands, or the mat. Getting comfortable to settle for a minute or two. Going to slowly and intentionally come out of our half pigeon, tucking the left toes and lifting the left knee, and bringing that right leg back for a three-legged down dog, and eventually to a down dog. Just take a moment here. This is our last down dog of the practice. Maybe noticing how much different it feels now than when we first took our down dog. I'm going to come to tabletop. Going to tuck the feet. We're going to cross the feet and tuck them underneath, rolling to our bottom. We're going to come to our backs. We're going to bring the knees to the chest, give them a nice hug. Maybe circling the knees again, showing a little love to that low back. Going the other way. We're going to drop the hands or the arms to a T. We're going to drop the legs over to the right. And maybe the gaze goes over the left shoulder for a twist. We're going to bring the head back to neutral, bring the legs back to center. We're going to drop the legs over to the left and right. Gaze can come over the right shoulder. Head comes back to center, legs come back to center. Give the knees one more hug. And we're going to find a happy baby. So hands can come to the back of the knees. Peace fingers can grab the big toes. Or hands can grab the outside of the foot. And you can find movement in this happy baby. Or you can find stillness. I like to kind of play the toes with my thumbs, give them a little extra stretch. And when you're happy in this pose, go ahead and drop the legs and come to Shavasana. And your Shavasana can look however you want it to look today. It can be how we started in class. It could be reclined bound angle. It could be knees knocking in, or just a Shavasana corpse pose. Whatever is speaking to you today to end your practice, you take that. And just allow yourself to rest here before you move on to the next part of your day. Allowing for the medicine to absorb into the body. The next time you hear my voice, it will be to guide you out of Shavasana. Begin to bring the awareness back into your body. Maybe wiggling the toes and the fingers, bringing a smile to the face. We're just gonna slowly make our way to one side of the body, maybe taking a full body stretch before we get there. And just taking a moment to lying on one side. Eventually pushing your way up to a seated position. Just taking a moment here in gratitude to yourself for connecting the mind, body, and spirit. The light in me honors the light in you. Thank you.